Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. This is a replay review for the player Aeonizer. This is Rob, who supports me on Patreon. He sent me this replay. First off, sorry for missing the fall invitational. I've been moving recently, trying to sort out all of that stuff, so wasn't able to stream the fall invitational finals, the playoff stage, but I will cast many of those games and put them up on YouTube instead. And for now though, we're going to catch up on this replay review because Rob sent it to me well, about a week ago. So let's get this done. Let's help him out. He's playing a 2 versus 2 on Isis, Fields of Isis. This is just classic Forged Alliance right here. 2v2 on Isis. If you haven't played 2v2 on Isis, you should. It's like having never played a single sentence game, or having never played a 1 versus 1 on open palms. You know, it's probably, you know, the 3 must play games. 1v1 on palms, 2 versus 2 on Isis, 4v4 on sentence, and then you have, you know, you haven't had a full Forged Alliance experience before that. Okay, so good start. He actually already has more mass than his opponents, and he's heading to middle. Oh, I'm lacking the certain mod, but that's fine. A lot of mass here. We can see there's T3 Rex Harbingers here, and then the rest are T2 Rex. So we got like blazes or pillars or things like that. T2 tanks, basically, the cheaper ones, and there's also a Titan, I think, here. So yeah, a lot of mass. So you want to, as everyone is doing, rush to the middle and take as much mass or more than your fair share if you can. So I believe this is actually some of the, I'm not a pro Isis player, unfortunately, but I know there are certain spots which are better slightly in terms of where the reclaim is, and I'm not sure which side it is. It's probably this guy right here, right? He probably has the better spot. Maybe he's closer to more reclaim, but either way, let's see how they go. Let's go into Aeonizer's perspective. Okay, what I'm seeing now is that we have a lot of tanks. We're reclaiming really far back, so you should reclaim closer to the opponent and leave reclaim behind yourself to retreat towards. So like the red guy is now just taking one Harbinger wreck, and he's going to take another Harbinger wreck, and that's a lot of the reclaim that's in the middle. We've taken like a T3 wreck, the cheaper one, like the Titan or something, and some of the T2 tanks are close to us. So really we should have maybe walked further and started reclaiming further to the left, because if we chase this guy and start reclaiming further on, well, it's more dangerous, and also he doesn't have to move, and he can reclaim 3 or maybe even all 4 of these wrecks. So if we look down here, you can see what purple did. He walked further. Maybe he even walked too far, but you know, he walked further in than his opponent, took their reclaim, and then he can walk backwards towards the rest of the reclaim, and that way he should get more overall than he would otherwise. So that's a small thing, but also we have a lot of tanks, and it's at this moment basically you want to be building lots of power basically right now, but at the moment we're not making any engineers. Like we only have 3 engineers, and that's just not enough. You need a lot of build power to make use of the mass, because right now we have no power. You only have a hydrocarbon and no power generators, actually. This is the first one. So that's a huge mistake. We need more power than this. You can see your teammate here has 3, 6, 8 T1P gens. And he's still has a full mass bar. If he's actually using all his mass, he may have enough power. He should be upgrading like a few more mexes. But okay, but we do have a lot of tanks, so we can do a lot of damage to the enemy commander, which is good. But yeah, there's a real lack of engineers. Also, going at this exact moment to build the mexes is exactly what you don't need. If all 3 of these guys were here just building power, it would work out a lot better for you. But they got sent away. But yeah, basically every factory is making tanks, and you need a lot more engineers. 3 in the base at this point is just not enough. No expansion. 1 engineer building power, so that's a major issue. We need more power at this point, and just more engineers in the base. Just a few more even. Okay, we're gonna steal more reclaim. We're microing, but we're attacking the enemy commander, which is good. I mean, at this point, you could instead of reclaiming, you could just walk into the enemy commander. You have tanks, so retreating now is not a good idea. Big problem though, there's no land scouts. Without land scouts, Auroras have, you know, less range than an enemy tank that does have a scout, so we have to have land scouts mixed in. That's a big error, actually, a big error for Aeon. And there's no air on the bottom team whatsoever. No air. So we're gonna lose all of our tanks to this Jester. And the ACU is even running away, so we're gonna leave some reclaim behind. We have a full mass bar because, again, we have no engineers. Okay, here's some engineers coming. Now we're overflowing mass, and we're gonna lose all of our tanks. So this is a really rough opening, honestly. Now we did get 2 T2 mexes, but like, this is a rough opening, honestly. Not enough power, not enough engineers, no air. You gotta watch what your teammate's doing. Somebody has to make some air on ISIS. You have to, basically. And if you're not making air, then you should have some anti-air, especially as an Aeon player. We need land scouts. So a lot of things went a bit wrong here. Also, we do have some more engineers. I don't know where they came from. They were built at one of these factories, but now we should add some more factories, and add an air factory, and add a lot more power. And we should build quickly. Like, these guys shouldn't wait around. They should just build immediately, because we're wasting mass right now. Just throw a factory down. It's not a good place for a factory, but it's really painful. I mean, at least your teammate is getting the mass, so it's not completely wasted. But yeah, this is very rough. So we could upgrade a couple of mexes. This would be a good one to upgrade. Also, we're gonna need some T2 tech soon. Hang on, I want to see how many kills this Jester has. 14 kills. It kills 700 mass worth of basically Aurora. Yeah, so we're gonna need some T2 technology, because TML is obviously a big threat here from both enemy players, and we're still wasting mass. So this should not be happening. This assisting the factories, these guys should all be making power. Should have been making power for the whole game, basically. So yes, this is where eco is so bad. We're not building power, which that would have spent our mass basically and allowed us to spend even more. Now we're making an air factory. We can't afford the air factory because we don't have enough power. We should come forward and take more mass again at this point. Okay, good use of the anti-air. Gonna take out the jester. That's more reclaim. That's quite juicy reclaim there to take. We have another mechs upgrading. We could have more if we had some more energy, basically. There's still no energy being built. Even just look at the raw number, which is 180. That is nothing. It's nothing. And we also have 2 radars. We can't afford these. So they're a waste. Yeah, the no power being constructed at all is killing us. We're dying here. We're dying. Now our opponent has pretty large army, honestly. We have very little. The scouting is happening. The air factory we can't afford is running. And the enemy, yeah, you see, this is another thing. Somebody has to make air just for the scouting, not even for defending against bombers or anything. I mean, you need it for that too, but just for the scouting. Like, your opponent has no economy, which means all of his mass should be in tanks then. Meanwhile, we have 3 T2 mexes. We had a rough start anyway, so we're going to be behind big time in terms of an army. Where's our commander? He needs to be at the front line killing. We can turn this into a mass donation though. That's the beauty of it. Bombers, we just got bombed by our own teammate. That's hilarious. Our teammate is also pushing forward here. Oh, purple guy is low. Our teammate has the gun. He's pushing. He's got some Medusa. He's got very little, but he's helping us out on our side. We still are not building any power. So yeah, that's a huge issue still that's not been solved. Now our teammate is going to get wrecked by our opponent by the looks of it. The Mantis heading to the south. Our teammate has no vision anymore, but he does have the gun, so who cares? He doesn't feel like he needs it. Okay, gives himself some vision and sees a lot of units coming towards him. We're still wasting resources, or rather sending them to our teammate. And still no economy from our opponent. So if we had managed our economy better, we would be so far ahead basically. Because you can see he didn't really do damage, but he may actually kill. He may kill our teammate. It looks like our teammate is completely dead. And it's definitely our fault. Gotta say. Okay, he sent us resources before he dies. Wow, we're just rushing straight for a T2 gen. Well played, says purple. Okay, the red guy is not moving. What is the red guy doing? Okay, he finally cancelled, but he's so low. He's actually gonna die. Lol, indeed. Lopald. I can't believe that. Okay. So the game should be over, but somehow the red guy is giving us a lifeline. However, the red guy is the less scary one for sure. In terms of economy, you can see the purple guy has, what's that? 5 T2 mexes and a storage, 1 storaged. Okay, but we're back in it. We have a lifeline. We somehow finished the T2 gen with only 3 T1 power generators. That's insane. So what's the plan? At this point, I would say, well, one, let's take our mechs up here that died a long time ago. But we should scout. Enemy base is dead. Oh, there was one T2 mechs here. But we should make upgrades on our commander because we have, you know, T2P gen already. We should immediately be sending engineers like these guys. That's good. And we need to reclaim this mass as fast as possible. And defend this area. Get some radar. Don't do this. This is really inefficient. This is a lot better. Okay, the ACU is defending against purple units. That's good. Our tanks are out. Okay, so in order, what should we be doing? One, we should up our air production. Okay, so maybe T2 air is a good option here. First thing I would say, take all of this mass. This is all our dead. All this mass right next to us. Take that. Grab an engineer. Expand up here. Grab an engineer. Send him here. Attack move here to get more reclaim. These guys, building a factory is good, but then after the factory we queue up the mexes, maybe the hydro as well, but right now we don't need the hydro. What we need is mass right now. So we need to take all the mexes. Look at all the empty mech spots, and not a single one of them has an engineer with an order to build the mass extractor on them. That's criminal. So that's what we should be doing. Mexes and reclaim. And then we say, okay, what's the actual plan? Probably, well, we need TMD. TMD for sure. Maybe our own TML up front. And I would say, you know, up the air production. Get some T2 air. Make him struggle to, you know, defend his own expansion from air. We have nice Aeon options, you know. We could even get a commander snipe in, perhaps. So I'd say, you know, up the air production, get some T2 air. And then also, once the ACU, once this is secured with units, we're sending a lot of units here. If we send some units here, secure this, allow the ACU time to get an upgrade as well. Maybe double gun and then shield afterwards, you know. Then we're in a good spot. Okay, the engineers have gotten new orders. That's pretty good. Now you notice that this was not efficient. You went over here, but you didn't queue up the mexes. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so it's just a bit of a delay, I guess, in the orders, but let's see if you also get all this other reclaim that's around, and then we'll be happy. So now we're scouting forward. We have a pretty decent army, honestly. We got like 5 obsidians. There's a shield here. That's kind of worrying. That tells me that there might be some kind of fire base happening to defend, in which case what would be the perfect way to get past it is just one transport. You drop a couple of obsidians back there, or even some aurora. It can be extremely annoying. Okay, we're scouting. He has T2 Aeon air now, so we have to be careful of... Oh wow, we can actually see that he's making T3 land, and there is a firebase here, so this could turn into a mass donation really fast. Are we still making our own economy? We don't have any mass extractors upgrading, so at this point we need constant ecoing happening, and we have a full mass bar, so just grab those, start upgrading them. And it looks like we are going to donate mass here. If we keep pushing, we might actually kill this. There's only T1 units, but now we've run back out of range, and we're going to take a lot of damage. You can see all the obsidians actually survived this long. There goes, only one of them died there. So we probably could have crushed this if we committed. Let's see. Yeah, definitely. This was definitely killable, but instead it turned into a little bit of a mass donation. That's just a misjudgment, honestly. Now we push forward here on this side again, and looks like we have another fire base. Let's see. But we haven't scouted this position. Oh, there's a shield that we're hitting right here. And we're gonna lose our whole army. Okay, so we need to react to this immediately. Basically. Okay, we're stalling mass extremely hard right now. So yeah, why are we stalling mass so hard? Okay, we're making T2PDs. Okay, I don't know why you make T2PDs in your base here. So he's making T2PD here. Making your own T2PD here seems completely useless. It defends your base, but he's making T2PDs, so he's not looking to attack into you. He only has some Aurora. So this is where our mass is going. We also still have a lot of mass in our base that we could take. And we still have loads of mass extractors that are not built. Many. Oh, we're upgrading mexes over here in this side. Wait. Oh no. Okay, maybe did we lose some upgrading mexes here? Okay, so we definitely chose the wrong place to upgrade here. And maybe, yeah, you probably queued up like 6 or 7 mexes at once, which is a huge error. You know, you could have done 2 or 3 in the base perhaps, but it looks like you also did 2 or 3 over here. And now we're gonna lose those as well, so. Damn. Okay, at this point I would say it's totally game. It's just over once you lose all of this. At this point the game is done. So many resources have been wasted into the expansion here. So so I guess your chance to we had a weak opening. Oh, that's actually a lot of mass went into T3 land. So we'll talk about that in a sec. But yes. Opening was rough, we went over that. But then we got a lifeline, right? Our teammate died to our opponent basically. And then we managed to kill the red guy up here in a really silly mistake from him. So then there was a chance to carry the game there because we had some T2 mexes. You managed to finish the T2 Pigeon, which was big. We were behind for sure, but there was a chance. What needed to happen was just a very quick capture of the expansion using the commander to defend it, which the expansion wasn't quick, but the commander did defend it. We needed, you know, more reclaiming, especially the stuff around the base, which is only being taken now. And we needed, you know, expansion up here and more reclaiming. Then this army that we sent forward could have killed this. I'm very confident that this should have died. Once we get under the shields, the shield gets one shot. The Oblivions will die quickly. And we can be very annoying, run into the expansion, slow our opponent down a lot. So that was a missed opportunity. And then we waited too long. It's all about timing, really. You waited too long to start mech upgrades. So a lot of mass built up, and then suddenly you queued up probably 6, maybe 7 mexes at once, which is just totally unfeasible, and now we've lost. And also we built them in very precarious position, and we lost all that mass. And it should be now at this point it is game over. So yes, that's kind of all there is to say, because I don't think there's any chance of a comeback at this point. We're far behind. Opponent has an amazing position. He's totally safe basically. We don't have anything that can attack this expansion. Don't have anything at the moment to push him back at the front, and you've lost every single mech here. What are we making out of the factory? It's idle. Actually, it's been hit by the T2 artillery. What is that? Oh, those are our dead obsidians, I think. Yeah, this T2 artillery is actually pretty fun. It's an amazing location. Also under 2 shields. And it has TMD. He's even using the commander pretty well as well, so I mean, he has no radar, that's a big issue, but yeah, this is just about done. We basically, remember I said earlier we should have, you know, an air presence, more air. T2 air. If we had T2 air at this point, he's very snipeable. Very snipeable. But and snipes are king in no share gameplay, so that would have been our only out at this point. Would be sniping him, probably with mercies, maybe a combo of mercies and gunships, but we don't have any options right now. Also, this factory should be making snipers and an absolver. If you had, you know, one absolver and then snipers and shields, then you could actually fight this. Now the difficulty is the artillery is going to be pretty good against the snipers. That's why we have shields, and with only one artillery I don't think you would be able to kill your snipers under, you know, 1 or 2 shields. So that's another error here. This should not be, it should not be harbs. It should be one absolver. Just one is enough to take down the shields basically, because it has such a high DPS against shields. Absolver, snipers, and mobile shields, so we can actually push out from here. From here you can hit stuff with snipers. You can take out this position, force his ACU back, and then with some mobile shields we can push forward a little bit, take out this base, especially the artillery. And then, I mean, we're still basically lost, but assuming we had this position, assuming we weren't already lost at this point, that would be how you take out this base in the best way, in my opinion. You could also use T3 artillery, which would give you a little bit extra range, but again, it's the same scenarios with the snipers, in that it has to be protected with shields, but it's going to be obviously insanely way less effective against the enemy commander. That's why I would go for the snipers. And we run in, and there's really not that many harbs. It was like 5 or 6 harbs versus 2 shields versus oblivion turrets. Oblivion turrets are very good against T3 units because they do 600 damage per shot and they have AoE, so I think you actually lost 2 harbs to single shots there, or they were taking double damage basically, or well, 2 of them are taking damage from 1 shot. They weren't taking double damage. And then the auto overcharge, he's safe behind shields, no problem for him to stop those harbs basically. And yes, this is, yeah, it's all over now. You're asking for tips. Well, Obstai is giving very high abstract recommendations rather than concrete ones, which is all you can really do in the moment. So yes, I think I covered the most important things there. The eco balance at the start is critical though. Not building power for such a long time was, I think, the easiest mistake to fix and the most important mistake to fix. But yes, then after that it was more about how do you react to the game turning into a 1v1, and that's more involved, more difficult skill, but yeah, I hope I gave you some ideas, and thanks everyone for watching. Check out my Patreon page and get your own replay reviews done, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.